So it's official. Bungie has made a statement that they will be stating what the Destiny future is going to be looking like at some time. They didn't say any specific date, but once they get a date on when they'll be talking about the future of Destiny, they will let us know, and that's good. So there is going to be obviously a future for Destiny. What it may be, I guess we'll find out, but there is indeed rumors, and we'll talk about that because the rumors are kinda what I've been saying that they should do, but not exactly. Like I said, we'll talk about it, but just they need to be talking about the future of Destiny like now. With everything that's been going on, it's just, I've been seeing so many others where their motivations for playing Destiny and just in general for investing in just Solstice right now with the event, their motivations aren't there because the uncertainty of where Destiny's going. Because most of the time when it comes to just investing time into Destiny, it's the excitement, the hype of whatever big expansion that we're going to have next, what big stories that we're going to go through. And these episodes are interesting for sure. They just kind of feel like seasons with, just a new word, episode. But I have been enjoying it, sort of, but there's definitely room for improvement, especially for the core playlists and stuff like that, and the story and such. But for the most part, like, okay, sure. I mean, the episode's fine. That's at least what we have for this year of Destiny for its future. But what about after? So, yeah, the rumors are very mixed with how people are looking at it. And it basically is with like what is being stated on these rumors. Again, they could be just bull. They're not true, but they're talking about how expansions are not going to be happening, and instead they're going to be doing like smaller DLCs of like the size of Shadow Keep, sort of, but not, and have a huge emphasis on like replayable content, doing like dungeons, raids, and like stuff like the coil or whatever. And so, and then they mentioned like new destinations and stuff with this rumor, and that sounds like an expansion to me. Like, but whatever. But even then, I know that we had like Curse of Osiris and Warmind have new destinations as well, so maybe it's like that. But essentially, these DLCs would be obviously less than expansions. And we would also be getting seasons as well, like free seasons. And these seasons would be like Into the Light, which sounds great when you mention Into the Light, if it's like that, because Into the Light was great. And I keep saying this, that they need to make Onslaught into a core experience that continues to evolve. They shouldn't sleep on it, and Onslaught should still have new loot, and they should do shinies for like the new batch of loot and stuff for that time period or whatever. Like, just keep that going, because yeah, Onslaught is great. Like, just don't forget about it, okay? And they probably will forget about it. But anyways, yeah, so that's what the rumor is. So expansions are just going away. There's still gonna be like story campaign stuff with these DLCs, but obviously the main goal with this rumor is that just still having consistent content, but just not doing the big stuff that they were doing, which I'm for, but also against, because I've stated that they should do mini DLCs instead of seasons. So the whole still seasons in there. I've been always saying that just combine the usual like 4 seasons that they did in the past into 2 DLCs So the 2 seasons and 2 seasons and just mesh them together. So there's more quality in there, and they can do more with it, maybe. I don't know. But do that and then do an expansion. Maybe in this case, I've said that if it's really that difficult to do expansions, maybe every 2 years do an expansion. So then it allows time for them to really cook and make it good. Like, every expansion should be like Final Shape or Witch Queen. We shouldn't have stuff like Lightfall happening. Like, Lightfall in itself should have been a season. Should have just been an episode. Like, that would have been a good, like, mini DLC, in my opinion. Like, I think that would have been fine. And the raid still being there for the DLC. Should have been a DLC, not an expansion. So, I'm for the idea of cutting back to doing smaller content and focusing on replayable content, especially if that means that, you know, PvP and PvE content in the core playlist evolves, because that's one of my biggest issues. Granted, though, Act 2's battlegrounds, in quotations, definitely feel like strikes, so that's good for the, you know, Grandmasters and Nightfalls, whatever, and Vanguard ops to get that in there. But when it comes to PvP maps, that's obviously a different story. And Gambit. Yeah, poor Gambit. So, I don't know. I mean, if they were to just do what this rumor is, but I still think that they should still do expansions, because I don't know what they're thinking over there. People mainly will, like, the expansions in general are the biggest things that make which is supposed to make the most money. Apparently Final Shape didn't sell well, but that's probably because of the bad taste of Lightfall. Like, that's the thing that they need to guarantee, is every expansion that does come out, that they're like, hey, give us $100 for the deluxe edition, so then you can play all the stuff that's coming after this expansion. Maybe make sure that it's the best, because your expansions are the price of, well, on its own, of like a brand new game. But then when you're doing the whole deluxe editions to have the season pass and the dungeon keys, it's past the price of a full game, and people are gonna just move away from Destiny because it's too expensive. But if these expansions are super duper good every time they release, I don't think that money would be too much of an issue, because people would have more faith in their pre-orders. I don't think Final Shape had that much faith in it. Like, people were just like, you know, after Lightfall and all these other bad expansions, I don't know. And Lightfall was a big oof for Bungie, because a lot of people pre-ordered that. A lot. I think it was like the most pre-ordered, and I think that was because Witch Queen was so good that everybody was like, oh my goodness, the next expansion, it's gonna be amazing, Bungie's back. And then it's just, I don't know. I really don't know. But listen, we've seen a lot of leadership change over at Bungie, and it just makes me so confused why Parsons is still CEO. I'm sorry, dude, but I think that with all these bad decisions, it's time to step down and give someone else hold on the whole situation, because it's just, the long, like, future for Destiny does not sound promising to me anymore as much if he's lead, if he's the one making the decisions, because it just feels like there's just no good decisions. I mean, why was there so many resources taken away from Destiny to make so many games? Apparently there were so many games being made, and they still are in the background. And I guess, like, Luke Smith and Mark's Noseworthy were working on a Destiny universe game, but it was like a different type of game. Listen, I'm all for spin-offs and such, but Destiny needed to first get that perfect foundation. And the fact that it was confirmed that there was no Destiny 3 even being made in the background, I am shocked. Because there's like the potential of where Destiny could go if they were taking resources and focusing as much as they can on making Destiny's future better. I mean, this universe has enough to make not just huge amounts of money on the game itself, but on movies and TV shows. Imagine if they ever did like a movie on just the Taken King alone. Like, it's just it's crazy to me. It makes no sense why it's like they're jumping ship. They want to jump ship from Destiny. That's the vibe that I'm getting right now from Bungie. And Marathon, in my opinion, I have no excitement, really. I mean, I'm curious about it. I'd like it to do well because it would be like another Bungie game, but at the same time, I just think of it as if Marathon does well, like where it's making more money than Destiny, the, higher ups of Bungie, because they money, clearly, I mean, that's why the layoffs happen, because money, they're going to focus mainly on Marathon, even if Marathon does not cater at all to the Destiny player base, and it's catering to a whole new player base, like a brand new one. They would probably still be like, nah, we're not really gonna be doing big stuff with Destiny anymore. That's why a lot of people just don't want Marathon, and that's a bad thing. It's very bad. Where people want it to fail. Like, it's just, read the room, Bungie. You should have focused Destiny. Why are we also taking Marathon and turning it into an extraction shooter? Why? And I guess there's rumors on that as well, that Marathon is not looking great at all. And it's just a mess with everything. So when it comes to the future of Destiny, I guess that's what is rumored. We will see when they talk about it, if that's true, that we're going to get like mini DLCs and then like free seasons as well, like in between or whatever. And then expansions, I guess, are gone. I hope not. Like maybe like for a year or two, like no expansion. And then have a Destiny 3 or bring back the expansions. I don't know. But the other thing is because they're not working on a Destiny 3 now, you know how Destiny is running really poorly? This is my biggest concern. When I heard that they're not working on a Destiny 3, this specifically caught my attention. They're just, everything towards Bungie has been negative right now. If they are like, hey, we're going to start removing content again and putting it into the Destiny content vault, how would you feel about that one? That's where my worry is. If they're going to infinitely continue to add content to Destiny, it's either A, content that is going to be removed that from the past, or it's going to be content that doesn't stay, like the seasons. So like if they do these DLCs with like new destinations and stuff, imagine that after a year, those destinations that you paid for, essentially, because the DLCs, I'm like guessing, are stuff that you pay for, because in the rumor it says the seasons are free, the DLCs are not. Imagine they take away stuff from the DLCs as if it's like a season, because like the seasons remove stuff too, but it's more aligns on like the campaign missions and the seasonal activities in a way. Sometimes they like to throw those battlegrounds right in the Vanguard ops, but like an example that's not there anymore is like the coil. I can't remember what it was called from Season of the Witch, with basically the Court of Oryx basically thing. and the deep dives and stuff. So like those things are gone in the seasons. So imagine they just keep doing that, just removing stuff. It's just that mindset is just not good. They should have been investing time and money on a Destiny 3 or an engine that would be able to, with like, just hold the game together while continuing to make expansions and DLCs and doing innovative stuff that would help the game as well. I've mentioned this 50 times, but Forge, like how Halo has it. Imagine that the player base was able to make content for Bungie, essentially. Making onslaught maps, like choosing where the enemies spawn and stuff. Making Gambit maps and PvP maps. Like Halo Infinite, like that's what they have right now. But the big problem with Halo Infinite is just like the big content that's outside of the player base is not happening as often. And there's a lot of other issues and stuff like that. But what keeps it afloat is the user created content. And if Destiny had those things, that would be great. Imagine that there's just infinite content to do, like in Onslaught and whatever, because people are making maps for those experiences. It just would be interesting. And then like stuff that is really good would go on the official playlists for Bungie. That's what Bungie used to do with Halo. Is people would make good maps and they'd be like, hey, this is an official map for the playlist or mode. I don't know, but I guess time will tell with Bungie's official announcement of Destiny's future. But as I mentioned, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And yeah. Till then, let's have some hope, I guess, because that's all we got right now. Thank you so much for listening. I want to know your thoughts as well. Like what do you feel about the rumors? Would you still be playing Destiny if it was just small DLCs and no more expansions? Do you think that there would be any other way that would make Destiny better, like any of the things that I mentioned? Just let me know. But regardless, have a Chibi-tastic day, night, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Chibi out.